This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Welcome to my fully operational Star Wars analysis. Visit mjmunoz.com/FO for notes and links, and don't forget to subscribe. Like, share, and comment to help me grow. I don't quite know what to say. I am of mixed minds about what I just saw. I just finished The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, Chapter 16, The Rescue. I liked it. I didn't like it because of all the fan stuff that you might expect, although maybe I did a little bit, and I will get into that in a minute. But I'm going to slow down, take it easy, and just talk about the fact that we got to see a conclusion to this rescue of Grogu, and we got to see a resolution of sorts to the relationship between Din Djarin, the Mandalorian of, series title, and Grogu, his boy. I was going to say my boy, but it's his boy Grogu. Anyway, so after all is said and done, Din Djarin and his crew fight through. They face down Moff Gideon and Dark Troopers, and finally, what really, really matters here is that we got to see a decision be made. A very difficult decision that was, tense and fraught with a lot of emotion. Grogu and Din are able to say goodbye after Din saves his life. And to me, that makes it was a nice moment. I was surprised when Din took off his helmet just in the presence of everybody to say goodbye to Grogu. I'm surprised he wouldn't have done that in private, although I suppose being that he took it off in the other episode when they were finding Gideon's coordinates, and being that he would have been revealing himself and breaking the code or the way or whatever by showing his face to Grogu, that it didn't matter if he showed it to him in front of one person, one other person, or if it was, multiple other people. So that was interesting. I really wonder what the implications will be. I would love, because, supposedly there is a Mandalorian Season 3 that's going to happen. I would love to see the fallout of that and have it be something dealt with really serious. Like maybe he needs something, or, there's some, dramatic reconnection with either the Armorer or a bunch of the Mandalorians from his covert, or another one of the Secret Watch coverts, and he has to explain to them what happened, or just they'll see his face and he'll make it known to them, hey, I'm sorry guys, this happened to me, I did what I had to, and I don't know, or maybe, like I had talked about in the other episode, maybe the fact that he had to do it in order to save Grogu is going to make it acceptable. That doesn't feel right, but, we know so little about the way that could be what happens. So, I guess, I can't really not talk about the giant twist or the giant, things that happened in this episode, because there were some pretty big monumental things. So I guess I'll just have to stop trying to be cagey and talk about that. But before I do, I am going to say I really enjoyed seeing them capture Dr. Pershing to, gain more information, gain more insight. I don't know if they were trying to get him or the Lambda-class shuttle, which I love those ships. Wasn't Luke playing with one of those in A New Hope before, when he's in the garage or whatever? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably wrong. Anyway. Sorry. So, yes, getting Dr. Pershing, getting the shuttle, and then being able to charge up the loading ramp of that light cruiser that Moff Gideon was in order to get to infiltrate. That was all neat. I don't exactly know. I mean, they did get some intel with him, but he, warned them, this is not subterfuge. So, I don't know that they trusted him. Maybe there were, schematics or information that on his shuttle that would have, enabled them to, work with it, even if they'd killed him, or even if, something else had happened. And I don't know, that's kind of interesting. Probably the thing I enjoyed most about the encounter, though, was seeing how dedicated some of the Imperials to be. And again, I'm not Team Empire at all. Like, I never will be, even though, they're restoring order or whatever. If you're restoring order through violating people's rights, I'm not okay with that. So, anyway, we can talk about that more in a minute. But, yeah, that one pilot who shot the other pilot, who was like, hey, I got nothing to do with these guys, and I'll, give up or whatever. And then he was, going to shoot Pershing, and he, mentioned to Cara Dune that, like, hey, you're a terrorist, and it was worth it to wipe out Alderaan to, rid the, galaxy of terrorism, because we're making order and whatnot. That was all super interesting, and I thought that was a really nice moment. I don't know that it'll be interesting to see exactly how, like, morality is handled, because, maybe I'll save that till another discussion. Maybe I'll save that for another time to discuss that and really, really flesh out what I'm thinking about that, because I don't know how much you can moralize and talk about, doing things a proper way, and, like, how you can, like, really clearly define the difference between, just exerting power and being, like, oppressive or abusive or whatever with that power. I don't know how you can do that if you're going to bring it up specifically and then show characters, like, doing things that would be disorderly or chaotic or that kind of thing from the Empire's perspective. I guess, is it enough that the Empire is shown to be abusive and oppressive, or do we need to see the heroic characters who are fighting against the Empire utilize some of the Empire's, violence and force and different means, but do it in a positive way? I don't know, it's hard to say. And then, being that this takes place in the early days of the, it's after Return of the Jedi, obviously, especially after this episode, but it's before, the sequel trilogy, where everyth's all fallen apart again after the, New Republic has been rebuilt and then it's destroyed, in pretty short order. Like, are you going to be able to get a picture of a just and righteous governing body in the New Republic? I don't know, especially when they're using tactics. I mean, there's the whole thing about how Mon Mothma demilitarized and scaled down and things like that, but you can still have local oppression and, I don't know, acts of, like, piracy and attacking and things like how does that all function? And it'd be interesting to see, like, what the ethos is. Now, gosh. Alright, sorry, I got really distracted by that because I thought it was an interesting point, and I just kind of wanted to expound on the, terrorism, the one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter concept, and yeah, I don't really know what else more to say about that, so I'll kind of stop myself there. I do want to say a couple more things. So, well, yeah. I'll go to the big thing. The big thing that I've been wanting to talk about. The thing that put me on the edge of my seat when the Dark Troopers had come back, after Moff Gideon was defeated, after Moff Gideon was in handcuffs, which, by the way, I'm thinking about wearing a cape, because if you can just hide a pistol in a cape, that might be the garment for me, I've always kind of wanted to wear a cape anyway, but, seeing Moff Gideon be able to shoot, and was, who did he shoot? Did he shoot, the other Mando lady? I couldn't tell exactly who he shot, but, and I didn't pay attention at the very end when we saw people in the background when Din and Grogu were saying goodbye to each other, but, anyway, I think, Bo-Katan's fine, so it must have been the other lady, but I don't know if she was fine. Is she in Beskar? I guess she's in Beskar, whatever. My point is, sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time staying focused. There's so much to talk about, and I just kind of want to spin off in all these different directions. Anyway, I should get back on track. So, I was, I don't know. Overall, I liked the episode. There was a lot of cool stuff in it, but I'm trying to divide the cool things that happened from the, and I kind of stated that earlier. Trying to divide the cool things that happened that I really liked seeing from, talking about whether or not this was a good story, or in what ways it was a good story, or in what ways it, wasn't a good story. And I do think that overall it was good, and it was a satisfying end to the Grogu, Din relationship so far. And I don't know how I feel about the fact that it feels a little piloty, and I mean like pilot for other stuff. The bonus thing after the credits was interesting. So I stuck around to see that thing because the music just seemed different and there was no concept art. So just, those two things threw me off and made me think, maybe there's something special here. And I thought, I'll just listen to the music, and it's nice to hear like a different take. I can't remember the guy, the conductor or the maestro, the dude who put the music together, the score for the show. I've enjoyed his work a lot so far in these 2 seasons that I've heard. And anyway, I was just, I'm going to enjoy it. The guy put work into it. He did something different with it. I'm going to appreciate it. And we'll see what happens. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe I'll just get to listen to it for a couple minutes while I'm headed to the car and whatnot. And then we get this bonus scene on Tatooine. And I was surprised by that. But overall, I would say it felt a little disjointed. It was interesting, but it did feel a little disjointed. And I was a little bit taken aback by like the title of the next series that it announced, and just by the fact that they were using this episode to, like the end of this episode, to announce that new series. And I just I don't know, I felt a little bit uncomfortable about it. So I don't know how much I dig that. I guess I don't dig it very much to be plain about it. So jumping back, seeing Din Djarin be the one who faces off against Moff Gideon, it was satisfying. It was the fight between the Darksaber and the Beskar spear was interesting. The heat that the Darksaber, or that the Beskar was taking from the Darksaber, concerned me a little bit. I thought it was getting too hot. Not too hot for Din Djarin to handle, but too hot. Like I thought it was going to melt maybe or break. It stayed, straight though, as far as I could tell. So that was good. That was interesting. And just the fight was interesting. It was nice to see the power of the Darksaber, of a lightsaber type thing, in the episode so dramatically. And I don't know, it was interesting that like Din spared Moff Gideon. Like, not that I wanted to be a bloodthirsty murderer, but he did kill a bunch of stormtroopers with no qualms. But then the guy, and they were just following orders, versus the guy just taking his son and threatening his life. He let him live. I'll let you sort that out on your own. I'm not going to make a judgment. I'm just pointing it out. And then I liked how it complicated things less with, like, the Dark Troopers were already going to do what they were going to do, regardless of whether or not Moff Gideon was alive. But it was interesting that it like planted seeds for conflict between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. And I don't know that I liked that necessarily, because Din tried to keep giving it to her. She's a powerful woman, so she should be able to defeat him in ritual combat or whatever. And he didn't have to kill Moff Gideon in order to defeat him. And what else? We've seen another Mandalore supremacy fight, but Maul did kill in that one. So, like, I don't think a fight for the Darksaber and for, the right to be Mandalore or whatever needs to be fight to the death, obviously. Otherwise, like, to me, there shouldn't be an issue. There should be no conflict, really. Bo-Katan and Din can just fight now, and she can win and then become Mandalore. Either that or his destiny will have to shift to, like, hey, kid, I've become Mandalore. I've restored my planet, and I welcome you back as a Jedi protector of Concord Dawn or whatever. I don't know. I do find it funny that we've seen Din without his mask or his helmet on a couple times, and it's been with his mustache. And then in this, he's, partially shaven, but his mustache is gone. Maybe they decided that the mustache doesn't look very good. Like, it's not very becoming, because for that final scene with Grogu, he has it off. There's like stubble growing on his lip, but there's no mustache. And I thought that was kind of funny. It's a little bit of a random point. But anyway, I've been beating around the bush. I got to get to it. We saw Luke Skywalker. Seeing Luke Skywalker, seeing that X-Wing, I just thought, that's interesting. There's an X-Wing. Din really got trashed by that Dark Trooper. He barely made it alive. And then, there was an airlock right there? Great, fantastic, which makes sense because they want to launch them out and have them fly around like they did before. So that totally makes sense. Why there would be an airlock there and why, that would be able to be opened and whatnot. Excuse me. Although you think with modern, safety protocol that you wouldn't be able to override that sort of thing, but I guess if you have a high enough clearance, you can. I don't know. Anyway, I liked seeing that. I liked the fact that he was able to get rid of the Dark Troopers, but they didn't really come back because it felt a little bit cheap to me, honestly. Like, oh, so he killed that one Dark Trooper. He was lucky because he was able to get his spear out and attack it the right way. And it was just amazing how powerful those things were. It was honestly, it was really intimidating, and I liked. I won't comment. I'll comment on this. I've been checking out a bunch of Corey's Corey's Datapad and Eckart's Ladder about the Dark Trooper lore and stuff, and it sounds like it goes the reverse. They started off as droids and then they were like cyborgs, but in this, it sounds like this is the third revision of them, Pershing said, and like now they've eliminated the human element and they're just these powerful droids, which was pretty cool. I guess they're still cyborgs, but technically, they're droid. Or maybe they're all droid. I don't know. It's a little hard to say. But they're super powerful, super intimidating, super cool. I liked seeing them come back because, like I said, it did feel a little cheap that he just got rid of them. But, they're not men. They're droids. So they may walk like men, but they're droids. So they ended up coming back, just flying back into the ship, which was pretty cool. I didn't get the sense whether or not the ship was moving or if it was just kind of like floating there in space on a, regular, it's like an orbit. An orbit or something like that. So, they were able to catch up to it. Big whoop, maybe? I don't know. But then when they had, taken the bridge and then Gideon, was there and he's like, hey, these guys are going to kill all of you. And then the X-Wing shows up and Kara was like, one X-Wing, what am I going to do? I thought like, well, the one lady like, hey, identify yourself. Maybe this is the first of many X-Wings. We had those X-Wing pilots before that we've seen come to, and, save the day or, wreck a ship or whatever. So maybe they'll come in and, they can angle them and, hey, shoot here. There's these guys that are trying to kill us. And then I think it cut to Grogu. And then I think we saw the X-Wing land on the screen. And then Grogu, paid special attention to that. And I knew what was coming and I wasn't prepared for it. I really did literally move, I was sitting all the way back watching the show on the big screen like I rarely get to do. And then I scooted myself forward 10 inches, 8 inches, I don't know how much it was, but it was inches and it felt like a lot. And then I was there watching what I've always wanted to see from modern Star Wars, what I was hoping to see in the sequel trilogy. One last hurrah, one last instance of, youngish Luke being amazing. Return of the Jedi has this 45-minute prelude where they're recovering Han and all the Jabba's palace stuff, and they have a little adventure, and then they go on to this main adventure of defeating the Emperor and Luke confronting Vader after seeing Yoda and all this stuff. So I was hoping we'd see something like that, a baton pass. Hey, the heroes, we're gonna either show them in their late 40s or maybe early 50s, or younger. We'll de-age them or something, and we'll see them on an adventure, and then it will open up with leading into another generation taking over and whatnot. But that didn't happen. But, I'm okay. I'm especially okay because we get to see this. This was super cool to see. Some people are probably going to blast it and compare it to the Vader Rogue One scene. I'm okay with that. It's nice to see how deadly a Jedi can be. We saw that with Ahsoka, and we get to see that with Luke here. Luke's much younger than Ahsoka. He's 15 years her junior, probably. If not more. Was she 20 when the Clone War, or when Order 66 happened? Maybe. She could have been 20. Anyway. Maybe closer to 18. Who knows? But I'm sure somebody knows. But anyway, just seeing the X-Wing, dock, and then Grogu's, attention, and then seeing the whatchamacallit? Oh, just seeing the cloaked figure come, and then just all that build up to seeing Luke on these screens distantly, in this different way. We're watching characters watch him on a screen. I thought that was an interesting, metatextual moment. And I don't know that it did much for me, except for it did heighten my anticipation for when we finally got to see Luke Skywalker in the flesh. And I think, I don't know if it was just in that last hallway or if it was approaching that last hallway, we started to see Luke cloaked doing his thing. And I looked for little things, like the way he was shot, the way the cloak was hanging and everything. It was like hiding things. And obviously he had the hood up so you couldn't see, but it felt like him a little bit. Just, I don't know, the walk, like I don't think that the actor who was doing the stunt work, which could have been Mark Hamill, because apparently they did de-age him for those face scenes there at the end. I don't know if that was his physicality or if that was a much younger man's physicality. I bet it was a much younger man's physicality. And they had like a stunt, guy doing that stuff. But I like that, you saw one black glove, or you like saw one flesh hand, then you saw one black glove, and he spun around and you got to see a silver, hexagonal belt buckle, and then I could see clearly like the I guess the mohair. Did he have the mohair tabard vest thing back on? I guess he kind of did, didn't he? Anyway, yeah, it was over the flight suit type thing that he was wearing in like the throne room in the final confrontation with Vader. I wonder if he took that thing off because he was having that camo on and whatnot when they were on Endor. Because I was wondering why he would take off the vest thing and then go to this, more sleek suit, which looks better, but or it looks cooler. But this, was neat, and I appreciate this look more with the vest thing on. By the way, I say mohair because it was literally made out of mohair. I don't know. I was listening to some Star Wars podcast years ago, and they were talking about. I think a lady had gone to see, could have been Amy Radcliffe, had gone to see the costumes of the Star Wars exhibit in, I don't know, Chicago or one of those big cities that, simple country folk like me never get to. She was talking about like the fabrics and stuff that some of the costumes were made out of. And that was super interesting. That always stuck with me. Mostly because there's a mohair sweater and is in a B&L song. And there's also a funny episode that involves mohair. Anyway. Totally off base here. Sorry. But anyway, seeing Luke like that was amazing. And it just, honestly, it felt so good. It was nostalgic, but also it made sense. I don't know how I feel about Luke being the one to actually come get Grogu. I thought it was interesting what, like the interaction Luke was saying, like, hey, Mando. He didn't say that. Hey, Mando, he needs permission from you. And you gotta, let him know that it's okay to come with me. He wants to come with me, but he wants your permission. That was pretty interesting. And I wonder, like, on the Seeing Stone, and I don't remember how it works. I don't remember the, lore stuff I found out about Tython and that Seeing Stone. Does it show you your future? Does it reveal something about you to yourself? Does it allow other people to see you, or does it allow you to see yourself? Or is it both? It could be both. So, I don't know if Grogu saw that, I could go down a dark path if I don't. And remember, he remembered some of his teachings from when he was in the Jedi Temple, which, somebody brought this up. When I wonder when the Yoda species does really begin to talk. It seemed like he talks a little bit, but it almost seems more like babble, but it could just be their native language. Who knows? I'm sure my speaking sounds like babble to somebody from across the world. So, anyway, I'd be interested to know if he's actually communicating. I don't mind if it's mostly people like psychically communicating with him through the Force. Like, that'd be cool if we ever get to see more of that. But I wonder like what the interaction was. And I like how subdued Luke was, and I liked how quiet he was. But I did want a little more. I did want him to talk a little bit more. And the scene, I don't know, there was an interesting. It was nice that Luke stepped back and that they didn't just focus. I mean, Luke had gotten focused for several minutes while he was working his way through those dark troopers, which was really awesome to see. But it did feel a little funny that they were being saved by him in that way. But it makes sense because Grogu called out to him at the Seeing Stone, and Luke had his presence, I guess, had his presence in the Force, and he came to rescue him. And who knows if they're in the core? I'm sorry, not the core. If they're in the Outer Rim, maybe Luke had to come from Coruscant. I doubt he's already found Octu, however they pronounce it. I don't know. Honestly, when they showed Tatooine and Jabba's palace, I thought, hey, didn't in the EU Luke for a little while have a Jedi temple going in one of those old Ba'omar monk places like Jabba's palace? Didn't that happen? Are they going to show him and Grogu and some other? Are we going to see de-aged or super young actor looking like little Ben Skywalker over here? As much as I have a problem with the sequels, I don't think they'll ever be erased. I don't know that I want them to be erased, although I want them to have not happened. So, but I'm willing to accept things. There's a lot of things in my life that I wish hadn't happened, but then again, they've made me who I am today, right? So maybe that's what I need. I don't know. But regardless, I was excited at the possibility that we were going to see Luke's Jedi Academy. I don't know why we would in that after scene. But I thought maybe we will. And maybe we'll see a little Ben there. Or like, Leia hanging off in the corner. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Again, I'm very much of mixed feelings about bringing Luke Skywalker in here. It makes sense ultimately. And maybe it makes more sense than some other random Jedi sensed him and then, answered the call. So, I don't know. Man, that's neat. I almost wonder if that would be even... No, I mean, the glimpses we saw of Luke's Jedi Academy over on whatever planet it was on. Do we even ever learn what planet that was on? I almost want to look at the Rise of Kylo Ren comic to see if we see there what planet that is on. Huh. Why don't we know that? I mean, it doesn't matter, but if it doesn't matter, what's the big deal telling us it's Dantooine or not? Huh. Anyway, I would almost be interested to see if, like, maybe other people sensed Grogu while he was on the Seeing Stone, and maybe they would be drawn to his presence as well while Luke had him, and that kind of maybe helps Luke to even rebuild a little bit faster or whatever. I don't know. I'm hoping, though, that, being that Din tells Grogu that he'll see him someday, it would be interesting to see if... and I totally started to say something and then I never finished it, which happens a lot. Anyway, this is why this is a fully operational Star Wars analysis, folks. Strap in! 26 minutes later. Anyway, I wonder if maybe he will see him again. Maybe Din and Grogu will be reunited. Maybe, like I joked about, maybe he'll become Mandalore and then, have his Force-sensitive son come and, work with him or whatever. They had a Sith Lord or a dark side user being Mandalore before, so why not now? Anyway, although what's his face was his sock puppet ruler, whatever. Olmec. Olmec was the guy. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Yeah, so I thought it was interesting that Luke said, talent without training is wasted, but he will become a danger to himself if he's not properly trained, or something like that. I thought that was super interesting. And, I mentioned that Ahsoka is, 2 decades at least, or around 2 decades, Luke's senior. So does she understand what Luke doesn't? Is that a failing in Luke? Is that folly in Luke that he thinks he can train him, and that everybody who has the Force needs to be trained so that they don't let it or so that they can choose the Jedi way, so they can stay in the light as opposed to falling into darkness, falling to the dark side? I don't know. That's interesting. But then again, Ahsoka thinks that his power will just atrophy, and Luke doesn't seem to think that. I mean, of course, he doesn't say too much, but he seems to say the opposite. They don't get a long philosophical conversation about it. But anyway, gosh, I don't know what more to say. Seeing that DH Luke Skywalker was super interesting. We've seen Mark Hamill get DH'd before to be Luke, like in The Last Jedi. And that was cool. Well, I think it was DH. Maybe they just had, good makeup and stuff on it, which I guess that could be DHing, and they dyed his hair and whatnot. He looked younger than, Octu Lake, or Luke. He looked younger than that Luke. So maybe it was just his hair and the beard and, maybe they pulled back his skin a little bit or something. I don't know. But he doesn't look old now. Anyway. It was interesting. His voice, it almost seemed like they de-aged his voice and like they pumped up the music while he was speaking. Like it would swell while Luke was talking, and it diminished your ability to clearly hear his voice. So that was interesting, but I liked it. I seriously think I'm gonna watch this again very soon, like without the context of the other episodes, because they don't matter. Luke's in this. But see, again, there's the conflict. I liked it, and it was appropriate. I liked that he was in and out so quickly, and I liked that it showed the power of a Jedi. Even though we've seen that with Ahsoka, but just seeing Luke exhibit that was really nice. It was really refreshing. It felt like, I don't know, felt like coming home. Anyway, so that was interesting. I would love to see Grogu and Din reunite at some point in the future, but I don't know that it'll happen. Maybe in another story, another book, a comic, or something like that. But we don't necessarily need to see every detail of their lives played out, right? Anyway, I don't know how I felt about the teaser trailer for the Book of Boba Fett afterwards. I don't know that I like the name of that. The Mandalorian has chapters, of course, reminiscent of a book. So having this being called the Book of Boba Fett is interesting. Again, I thought we were going to see an early, Jedi Temple location for Luke with, where the Bomar monks used to hang, used to roll, used to pull people's brains out of them and put them into droid bodies. So I'm not disappointed that we didn't see that. I just think it was like an interesting choice. But then, again, of course, the fact that, Boba comes and kills Bib Fortuna and then sits on Jabba's throne, like, I know he said he serves no one, but why would he do that? But then again, maybe he's using it as a base of operations to exert his will over the rest of the galaxy. What it is, maybe Boba wants order. He never said he was a Mandalorian, and he says that again to Bo-Katan or her pup. And sorry to be so insulting, just they never say the character's name except for one time, and I don't remember it. And she, she gets called a sidekick. She calls Boba a sidekick, and he's like, "You're one to talk," or something like that. So, anyway, like, I liked Ming-Na Wen's little performance of going over as, Fennec Shand and grabbing the blue drink, and just, like, sucking back on that gin juice after they'd gone in there and taken over the place. But, like, what does that mean? What's going to happen? Is there a power vacuum? Does Boba, detest that? Does he want to bring, like I said, some sort of order too? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see exactly where he goes from there. But just, I don't know. It felt a little off having that teaser at the end. So I don't know how much I like that. It did feel like it detracted from the story so far and from the episode. And I don't know, like it took a little bit of the wind out of the sails. I don't know. And it was interesting because I looked at the runtime. It was around 40 minutes. So actually, what? I can do this. I'm a magic man. Got the magic in my hands. I can see how long the episode was. And I can tell you that it was a 46-minute runtime. The Book of Boba Fett teaser thing happened about it was about 3 minutes long, and then I think there was 1 more minute of extra credits after that attached to the end of the episode. And I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say about that. Anyway, it just felt a little off, and I'm just, obviously it's, pregnant with possibilities of what's going to happen. And then I guess maybe Moff Gideon, setting up the conflict between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin about him, technically being Mandalore now or whatever. Maybe that's what season 3 will be about. Maybe he'll need to be convinced to either. I mean, he's not going to throw a fight to her. I don't want to be a jerk. I think she has. I'll put it this way then. I think she has too much honor, or it's obvious that she has too much honor to ask Din to throw a fight, and she clearly has too much honor, as she's already demonstrated, to just take the Darksaber. Although, I mean, didn't Ahsoka give it to her? That happened. Anyway, so it's hard to say what's going to happen with that. But maybe he will become Mandalore and he'll shift, and maybe him taking off his helmet like that means that he's going to go away from the coverts, and maybe he's going to try to reach out to the other Mandalorians and like bring them in. Like, and I had talked about this. I don't know how I feel about having them abandon their faith in their way that has preserved them and kept them alive for this 20 years or whatever it's been. I'm not cheering about that, but if that's the direction they decide to go, and if it's a better way, and if we learn more about the way and that it's somehow brutal and cruel and destructive, which it doesn't feel like it would be. Otherwise, if Din's such a good Mandalorian as far as following the way, then, why would he have saved Grogu? I made this argument before, so it's hard to say what exactly is going to happen. But I'm excited. I think there's some good possibilities for the future of the show, and I definitely wanted Grogu to go away. Not because I dislike him as a character, but just because I don't want them to lean on Grogu as a crutch because he's so adorable. And then, like, when R2 came out and him and Grogu were interacting, I thought, like, this is like a cuteness overload. Like, my kids are going to love this, but I don't know, I like it, And I like R2, fine. I especially like him well, I mean, I like his relationships with like Anakin and Luke, but obviously those are grown men. They're not cute. I mean, I'm not like, oh, so dreamy. It's just like, these are my guys, I don't know what else to say, but I do have something fun that I want to share, which is that StarWars.com totally spoiled or not StarWars.com, but Disney Plus totally spoiled the episode, so I'm basically done. I don't have anything like profound or super crazy to say, so you can go ahead and leave now if you want. I thank you for sticking around. But so the show totally got spoiled by Disney Plus. So last week I took a screenshot of the episode description for chapter 15, and I have on December 11th I took it. It says the Mandalorian and the child continue their journey through a dangerous galaxy. Then a couple days later, I looked at it again because I thought that seems wrong, and that didn't happen. Like, why would he get him back so soon? And then a couple days later, on December 17th, I took another screenshot, and it says, Chapter 15, to move against the Empire, the Mandalorian needs the help of an old enemy. Then, today, I looked at it, and sure enough, 15 is the same, to move against the Empire. Talks about Miggs going to get Mayfeld. And then Chapter 16 is the Mandalorian and the child continue their journey through a dangerous galaxy. So, somebody at Disney Plus accidentally released that too early and, sort of spoiled it. And I was going to do this whole thing about how spoilers don't really matter. And if you think they, do, this didn't spoil it for me. And it's just one more notch in the belt or feather in the cap of, spoilers aren't bad. But I got to say, it's interesting. I wasn't spoiled on what was going to happen with Luke, and it blew me away. So, I don't know, maybe... maybe I'll just be more humble about it. Look, spoilers aren't, let me put it this way, though. I do think I'm going to watch it again, or I know I'm going to watch it again at some point, and I'm going to really enjoy it. I didn't cry or anything, but I did think, oh yeah, he's igniting that green. So, that was kind of fun. But, yeah, I don't know how I feel about spoilers now, but I still like them. It was just kind of funny. I wanted to poke fun at especially if everybody loved the episode. Hey, it was spoiled before and you guys didn't say anything, but that didn't happen. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I've said enough. Perhaps I've said too much. That's me in the corner. Anyway, no, I really am getting out of here. Thanks for listening. I don't know what else to say except for until next time, take care. And I don't know what I'm going to do with fully operational. I might take a break for a little while. Although we do have High Republic stuff coming out pretty soon, man. A couple books. I have at least 2 of them ordered. I don't know that I'm going to read the junior novel, but Alex from Star Wars Explained said it's really good. But I don't know that he and I always agree on everything, and I refuse to read some books that he reads, partially because I don't make the money that he does off them, and partially because maybe I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan. I certainly haven't won any trivia contests, and I don't know, I'm not really interested in reading Rogue Squadron books or whatever, because I care about the Force, and I care about Luke, and that's what I want to learn more about, and the High Republic, we're getting stories with, it's like a Jedi paired with a non-Jedi. I think in the Into the Darkness and Out of the Light, or whatever they're called. Light of the Jedi and Into the Darkness, or I think that's what they're called. And that's what I'm interested in. So anyway, see you back for those things. And I don't know what else. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I need to get back to focusing on writing more. And in fact, I was doing, my life's crazy besides the fact that I need to get back on writing. So having one less thing to do would be good for a little while. So again, until next time, folks, take care.